Okay. Just a second. Let me share my screen. We're gonna pull this up. We're gonna get right down to business. Right. We're gonna get right down to business. Hold up, everybody. Though. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Okay. All right. You guys see this? Legal aggravated robbery. Put your hands in the air. It's a robbery. Um, I got that from a Tupac song, right? Put your hands in the air, it's a robbery. Um, you guys know I've been working on this project, Disclosure, right? Where I'm revealing the secret history of Texas City and the secret history of police corruption. So I want to highlight something for you guys, right? Legal aggravated robbery. A lot of times we're worried about somebody breaking into our homes, stealing our goods, catching us at the ATM machine, trying to withdraw money and putting a weapon out on us. We're worried about being out and about shopping or at the grocery store, things like that. We're worried about people breaking into our vehicles. But all of that is illegal aggravated robbery, and the criminals, upon being caught, will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law and dealt with. But what I want to talk about now is I want to talk about legal aggravated robbery. I want to show you how the police department, in cahoots with the city officials, are robbing the community. Right? Now watch this. This is going to get real interesting. I'm not going to take too much of your time. All right, you guys see this, right? I just went online. I'm going to show you this article. We're going to read this over together, and then we're going to dig into it. Like, why am I saying this? Now, this article was ran July 31st, 2012. July 31st, 2012, and you see the title, okay, is Lamarck residents sue Texas City cops over unlawful arrest. Now let's see how this thing played out. Lamarck residents George Sanford III and Janice Hindley are suing over their arrest in front of their residence 2 years ago, recent court documents say. A lawsuit targeting the city of Texas City Mayor Matt T. Doyle, Texas City Police Chief Robert Burby, and other individuals asserts Sanford and Hindley's constitutional rights were violated when they were taken into custody for no apparent reason on July 12, 2010. The original petition, filed July 11th in Galveston County District Court, recalls how the complainants were able to leave their home. How the complainants were about to leave their home with nearly $4,000 from an income tax return in their possession when Texas City Police Officer John Thorne approached the vehicle and demanded that Sanford get out of the car. According to the suit, now let's get into some details. According to the suit, Thorne, who reportedly pointed a gun, physically yanked Sanford by the neck and forced him face down on the ground. Hindley was also ordered to get out of the vehicle, the suit states. The plaintiffs state Thorne and fellow officers Arthur Lee, a female, and Manuel Johnson then proceeded to search their car despite the lack of a warrant or consent, adding their money was also seized. Afterwards, the complainants were transported to the Texas City Jail where L.W. Fowler, another officer, informed them that they were brought in for tax evasion. The suit further alleges the jailers did not give Sanford medical attention, though he notified them he was diabetic, and the plaintiffs were never told the real reason behind their apprehension other than a belief that Sanford was the brains behind a small drug cartel. Sanford says he was taken to the Galveston County Jail 3 days later and upon posting bond, learned that his vehicle was impounded and the respondents took pictures of his property. He adds the defendants returned $2,445 of the $4,700 taken during the arrest in question, and he filed a report and a complaint with Burley's office and the Internal Affairs Department to no avail. Lee, Johnson, and Fowler are co-defendants in the suit. Consequently, the complainants seek at least $30,000 in damages and a jury trial. They are representing themselves in the case. The litigation has been assigned to Galveston County 56th District Court Judge Lonnie Locke. Now, there's a lot of takeaways from that. So apparently, these individuals were leaving their home. They had about $4,700 on them. So you have these three road cops, Thorne, Arthur Lee, and Johnson, approach them, draw guns on them, yank them out of their vehicle, and tell them that they are going to take them to jail. Now, in the midst of taking them to jail, they confiscated the money. And they said that they were apprehending them and confiscating the money because of something about tax evasion and because they were saying that Sanford was the brains behind a small drug cartel, basically saying that he was selling drugs and probably accusing him of having other people sell drugs for him. And so he says when he was returned, when he got out of jail, bonded out of jail, and he got his money back, instead of getting the $4,700 back, he only got $2,445. And so they made a suit about the false arrest, and they included this information about them taking the money. Now you have to ask yourself something. Why did they think it was okay to not only harass and arrest these people for nothing, but to also take their money, confiscate their money, and in confiscating their money, skim some off the top for themselves? Legal, aggravated robbery. Now, right here in Texas City and in multiple places around the nation, right? But right here in Texas City is what I want to talk about. There is something called drug confiscation revenue. Now, I'm going to go into that a little bit deeper in just a minute, but keep in mind the phrase drug confiscation revenue. That is what you're going to see it labeled as in the official Texas City documents. But let's see exactly what this is, okay? So civil forfeiture in the United States. Civil forfeiture is them taking people's money. Let's read the definition of this so you can see that this is exactly what those cops were doing. And I'm going to show you how the city and the police are legally robbing the people. And they have been doing this for quite some time right here in Texas City. And, you know, Matthew Daniels, a.k.a. Ampu, a.k.a. The Real Bookworm, I'm about to expose them. Hold on to your hat. It says, civil forfeiture in the United States, also called civil asset forfeiture or civil judicial forfeiture, is a process in which law enforcement officers take assets from persons suspected of involvement with crime or illegal activity without necessarily charging the owners with wrongdoing. While civil procedure, as opposed to criminal procedure, generally involves a dispute between two private citizens, civil forfeiture involves a dispute between law enforcement and property, such as a pile of cash or a house or a boat, such that the thing is suspected of being involved in a crime. To get back the seized property, owners must prove it was not involved in criminal activity. Sometimes it can mean a threat to seize property as well as the act of seizure itself. Civil forfeiture is not considered to be an example of a criminal justice financial obligation. So what this is describing is police officers claiming that they believe, whether they prove it or not, whether they charge the individual or not, they believe that this individual is basically selling drugs, involved in some type of illegal activity. And with this illegal activity, they have acquired money, property, clothes, homes, boats, things like that, vehicles, things like that. So what the police do under this umbrella is they take the money, they take the car, they take the house, right? They take the they take the property, whatever that property may be, okay? And you see how it already said that they don't even have to necessarily charge the owner with a crime, with wrongdoing. They just have to make the claim that they are suspected of doing it. And then the onus is on the individual citizen who has just been robbed, right? The citizen who has just been robbed, it is on them to prove that they acquired these things through legal means. Now, that is just what happened in this story that you see right here. Okay, they were trying to use this loophole in the law to arrest these people, right? Seize their money, but then these crooked cops, Thorne, Arthur Lee, and Manuel Johnson of the Tech City Police Department, well, some of them are no longer with the Tech City Police Department, but they were with the Tech City Police Department when this happened. Those individuals, they took it a step further, and when they seized the $4,700, they took some for themselves. Now, I'm telling you guys, this is what they have been doing. Now, let me blow your mind real quick and show you guys something, right? Watch this. Check this out, okay? Legal aggravated robbery. Put your hands in the air. It's a robbery, okay? Now, Texas City budget. Right, read this with me. Texas City budget 2012 to 2013. Okay, so I have on this left side, I have budget, and I have on this right side, I have actual. Now, every year, okay, for the fiscal year coming up, what the city does is they plan out a budget. They write down how much revenue they are expected to make from the various things and taxes and things like that that they have going on, and how much they intend to spend for various things. Now, a lot of people in the community, they don't go out and they read these budgets, but I'm the real bookworm. I love to read. I read these budgets. So I want to show you guys something. See, I got it highlighted on the left-hand side. It says drug confiscation revenue. Revenue, right? You got revenue and you got expenditures. Expenditures is what you spend, revenue is what you make. So in every budget, when the city officials are planning out these budgets, one of the things that they plan for is drug confiscation revenue. Okay, so we're looking at the 2012 to 2013, right? So we look at right here, watch my pointer, budget, FY fiscal year 2012 to 13 adopted budget $2,500. This is saying that they expect to rob the community of $2,500 in property or money in 2002 in fiscal year 2012 to 2013. This is what they are expecting to get. They're saying that, okay, we know you guys out there selling drugs, right? You got these people selling crack, meth, innocent civilians, people selling weed. Hey, you know what? Our police department, I think y'all are going to be able to steal, aggravatedly rob $2,500. So they actually put this number in the budget. This stuff is planned out. Now, if you look on the right-hand side where it says actual, okay, follow my pointer, fiscal year 2012 to 2013, actual $4,605. So what they're telling you is in that fiscal year from 2012 to 2013, they actually stole $4,605 worth of cash and property from the citizens of Texas City. And the crazy thing about it is the police, when they confiscated this revenue, it's quite possible that they confiscated more, right? But they skimmed some off the top before they turned it in, and then it actually became a part of the city funds. But this is why I say the city is in cahoots with the police department, because the police department are the ones that's sticking you up for it, right? The police department is the ones that's skimming off the top, right? But then you have the city on the back end that's accepting the stolen money, okay? And they are expecting every year for these cops to actually go out and steal more. That's what the budget is all about. So let's go a little further, right? This is the Texas City budget from 2013 to 2014. We're going to go year by year, and I'm going to show you this is just what they do. So budget on the left-hand side, you see my pointer. Okay, so fiscal year 2013 to 2014 adopted budget. Okay, they expected to get $1,500, right? $1,500. This was the budget. They were saying, okay, we think that our cops are going to be able to rob. They probably gonna hit a lick, right? Sorry, that hit my coffee. They probably gonna hit a lick for 1,500. This the plan. This how much they think they're gonna rob. So if we go over here to the actual side, fiscal year 2013 and 2014, look at that actual $114,060. $114,060. They probably took somebody home, man. You know how sometimes when you're talking to people and they may know somebody that got arrested, right? And the police said they were selling drugs out of that house, and then they lose the home. They lose their mother home, they lose their grandma home, they lose their father home. Things like that. You've all heard about it. Well, guess what? Guess what? The money from that gets thrown right into the city budget, the city funds. What are they doing with these funds? Where is this money going? Those are questions for another day. But what I do know is they're robbing. They're robbing the community, right? Right in your face, and they're in cahoots. Okay, Tech City budget 2014 to 2015, right? The projected budget right here, fiscal year 2014 to 15, adopted budget $1,500. So they kept it the same as the previous year. They said that, okay, we think that we are going to get about $1,500. Now, the thing about this one is the actual, I couldn't find the actual for how much they made in 2014 and 2015. That information will probably come out in a later report. I'll keep my eyes open and I'll let you guys know, right? Look, Tech City budget 2015 to 2016. Budget, left hand side. Fiscal year 2015 to 16, adopted budget $1,500. So you see this 1,500 has been a constant for several years up until this point. Now, again, I didn't see the actual numbers for 2015 to 2016. I'm going to keep my eyes on the prize. What we see, drug confiscation revenue, projected budget, $1,500. They expect to rob you guys for $1,500 of your cash and property. Okay, just like they did the individuals that were suing them. Now, Tech City budget 2016 to 2017. Okay, we got budget on the left-hand side, right? Let's see. Fiscal year, oh no, right here. Fiscal year 16 to 17, amended budget $1,500. So we see that right here. They had another budget of $1,500, and we'll go to the actual drug confiscation revenue. And from 2016 to 2017 actual, we got $34,250. $34,250. So from 2016 to 2017, that must have been a really, really, really good year. Okay, they must have been a really, really, really good year. They was out there kicking in a lot of doors. They was out there harassing a lot of innocent civilians. They probably took some vehicles, some jewelry, and they took a whole lot of cash. They took a whole lot of cash. If anybody ever got arrested and you knew that you had $300 in your pocket, but then when your money hit your books, you only had 188, you know what happened? The cops, they don't pocket that money because they know that they can take it from you. And so what they do, they take your money, they skim off the top, and then they turn the rest in, and the city uses that money. And the city allows them to legally rob you because they know that they are going to get their cut. Don't let these people fool you. It's in the budget, man. They plan on taking your money, and they assume how much money they will take every single year. You gotta stay woke, family. You gotta stay woke. Look, let's go one more. Tech City budget 2017 to 2018. Drug confiscation revenue. Okay. Fiscal year 2017 to 18 adopted budget 1,500. Again, they stuck with that for several years. They plan on robbing you guys for 1,500. I didn't find the actual, but I'll be on the lookout for it to give you guys another update. Okay, Tech City budget 2018 to 2019 budget. Okay, fiscal year 2018 to 19 adopted budget $10,000. Now, check this out. This is interesting. You saw how I just showed you that every year, right, previously from 2012 to 2013, all the way up to 2017, 2018 fiscal years, they were projecting $1,500. But now, from 2018 to 2019, they're jumping it up to $10,000. So you got to open your mind up, right? So what they're saying in their mind is, wait a minute, hold on. We must, like, the cops are doing an immaculate job, okay? The cops must have been bringing in bukus and bukus and bukus of money, because why would the city officials all of a sudden say, man, you know what? I think they're going to hit so many licks in 2018 to 2019, right? That they're going to be able to make us $10,000. Listen, this is a budget. This really just not no fly by night thing. You don't just make up these numbers. These numbers come from a specific algorithm. Okay, they make these budgets on things like this based on a pattern. Okay, because I mean, this is the city budget. Everything is in here, and everything is written out and planned to the minute detail. If I showed you the whole budget, it's over 200 pages, bro. Over 200 pages. So they're not just saying $10,000. They didn't pull that number out of thin air. What they're saying is these police officers have been robbing the community so much, we think that they can make us $10,000. Now ask yourself, remember that lawsuit that I showed you? Remember the lawsuit that I showed you, okay? If they're expecting these officers to be able to bring them $10,000, we already know these officers is crooked. How much are these officers pocketed? So how much is the community actually being robbed for? Because this money coming straight from you. And all of these people are drug dealers. Remember what I showed you in the law. They don't even have to actually charge you with a crime. You can just be suspected of a crime. You know, just ask around, man. People have been in situations where they got caught and they had a whole lot of ones and fives, and the police told them, oh, this look like drug money, so I'm gonna confiscate it. Hey, I'm a productive member of society now, but I have been in the streets. So I've seen it. I know this to be a reality, but it just blows my mind to see it in the city budget. So look at this, man, the actual for 2018 to 2019. Look at this actual fiscal year 2018 to 19 actual $30,000. The community was robbed for $30,000 in fiscal year 2018 to 2019. The fiscal year basically is talking about like September to September. Okay, something like that. That's why it's 2 years. It doesn't start in January, right? Look at that, $30,000. Now, if you remember on that last slide, not there, but in 2016 to 2017, they made $34,250, right? And so right here, they got $30,000. So now you can see why they're probably assuming, you know what? Hey, man, we got 30,000. Yeah, they can probably do 10 again. You know, they can probably do 10 again. You feel me? So the city and the police department are in cahoots to rob the public. It's right here in your face. All I gotta do is just read the budget, ask a few questions, and know how to analyze the data. Now check this out. Tech City budget 2019 to 2020. The budget fiscal year for drug confiscation revenue, 2019 to 2020, adopted budget $10,000. Now they went from 1,500 to now the consistent theme is they're expecting the police to take $10,000 from you. That's what they're expecting, and we already see that these cops are skimming off the top. Legal aggravated robbery right there in your face. Now remember, everybody, I am working on project disclosure, okay, to where I'm exposing all of these types of things, right? I'm working on a multi-volume work, the secret history of Tech City, the secret history of police corruption. It's a multi-volume work. I'm working on several different books where I'm going to be exposing all of this stuff. I work very, very hard to compile, analyze, break down, and present this information to you guys. So it would be a great appreciation to me if you guys would just support what I got going on. You see this book on the left, Big Game Hunting. Now that's my most recent book. That's volume 1 in my series, Exposing Police Corruption. If you buy that book will expose to you so many dirty secrets that the Tech City Police Department has been trying to hide and bury for decades, that it'll blow your mind. It'll blow your mind. People gonna lose their jobs behind this. They're gonna be massive lawsuits behind this. Just watch. Just watch. There's gonna be some cops that just hate me to death when they read the information that's in this book. Now look, Big Game Hunting, you can get that from Amazon.com or you can get it from BarnesandNoble.com. All you have to do is go to Amazon or Barnes and Noble and type in Big Game Hunting by Matthew Daniels, and you can order that book. What I also want you guys to do is I also have another book, Thicker Than Water. This is actually a fiction novel about a gang war in Texas City. See how I got the refineries right there on the cover? That's because it's set in Texas City. It's about a gang war. You can get that on Amazon.com and Barnes and Nobles as well. You can get that Thicker Than Water. So I'd appreciate if you guys go order that book as well. Show me some support. Okay. It does take finances to put these books out. It takes finances and time to get some of this information that I get. It's not always free. Okay. So I want you guys to go order that. You can get them in paperback form or you can get them in ebook version if you like ebook. Now, this one, Suicide Note, I made a little typo. You can only get this one on Amazon.com. Unfortunately, Barnes and Noble hasn't picked it up yet, but you can get Suicide Note on Amazon.com, right? And that is another fiction novel. That one is set in Dickinson, Texas. Okay, and like I said, you can go to Amazon.com or Barnes and Nobles, not for this one, but Barnes and Nobles for my other two, and you can read the synopsis, see if it's something that you're interested in, and I just put Big Game Hunting up there one more time. Now, before I go, I would also like you guys to visit my website, www.therealbookworm.com. www.therealbookworm.com. Visit my website. There is links to all 3 of my novels on my website. Plus, if you want to learn how to make some extra money writing books like I do, I teach an individual how to write a book, how to edit a book, how to formulate their ideas. I teach them about character development. I have videos explaining basically everything from start to finish, start to actually get it published and how to market it. I give you all of the information that I have that got me to this point that I am at. So you can go to my website and watch those videos, learn how to write books yourself, and actually start and complete a project. And you can make a little extra money on the side selling your novel. Also, family, with this project disclosure that I'm working on, I'm asking the public to submit stories of police corruption, right? Anytime that, like the story I read just then about how those that couple was harassed by the cops and they had their money stolen, et cetera, et cetera. If you've had any negative run-ins with police, I would like to hear your story, because what I'm doing with one of my works, I'm compiling every single account of police misconduct that I can learn about. I'm compiling all of that into a cohesive, coherent narrative in one book, and I'm going to print that and I'm going to publish that as well. Why? Because a lot of times we get violated by police officers and they get away with it and they sweep it under the rug and they act like it never happened. So I want to document this stuff for the historical record, and I want your stories to be told. So you can go to www.therealbookworm.com. There's a section called contact. See that? There's a section known contact. You just click on contact, and you can leave me your name, email address, put a subject and a message. Just tell me what happened, submit your story, and all things considered, your story will be put in the book. So thank you guys for watching Legal Aggravated Robbery. I hope I blew your mind. Ask any questions that you would like to ask. And I'm about to tap out. It's your brother Matthew Daniels, aka Ampu, aka the Chosen Few, aka the Real Bookworm. I'm not a bookworm, world. I'm the real bookworm. Make sure you get it right. And as always, may your name live on forever, and may your memory never die. Hotel, peace,